Hello friends, today we're doing some feet exercises, and for these you might want something to hold on to like a chair or a counter or your wall, and you also are going to need a Theraband if you have one. If you don't, it's okay, you can just do the exercise without it. And then for the very last exercise, if you want to still do it and you don't have a Theraband, you can actually use like a hand towel, and I'll show you how to do that. But let us get started. We're going to do some arch stretches first. So just pressing over each foot, and we're going to do that for 30 seconds. So making sure that your weight is going right over all of your toes. You're not putting too much weight on your big toe or on your pinky toe. It's going straight over all of your toes. We're going to do all of these exercises for 30 seconds each. And I do have this little timer on the screen, so if at any point you ever want to just mute me, you can do that and just watch. I totally understand. Sometimes I want to listen to my own stuff. Alright, next we're going to go into plie, four-starch, releve. And here you want to think of the same thing. You want to make sure that your weight is going over all of your toes evenly, and you're pressing through that floor to go up into the highest releve possible. And here I'm showing you from two different angles for the first few exercises, just to make sure you know that your form is correct. It's really important that your knees aren't going past your toes and that your heels are coming up nice and high off of the floor like I'm showing you here. So 3 more seconds to go. And now we're going to do really slow tendus with the left foot. So you're really articulating through that foot. You're going through the ball of your foot, pointing, ball of the foot, back in. 30 seconds on the clock. Take this at whatever pace you want. Just make sure that you're really articulating through those feet. A few more seconds to go. Get your last few reps in there. Alright, now straight over to the other side. We're just going to do the right side now. So same thing, working through the ball of the foot. It kind of helps if you picture that you're in some mud and you're trying to push your foot through that mud and point. Or you can think of being maybe in water and you have some kind of resistance. It's always a little bit more helpful to me to have some kind of imagery in my mind. Rather than just kind of going through the motion. So whatever you want to think of, that might be helpful to you. Alright, moving into 3-point taps. You're going to bend one leg slightly and the other foot is just going around in a circle, doing little taps front, side, and back. And I know this doesn't seem like it's going to help your feet, but actually it's going to work a lot of the really small muscles in the arch of your foot. As long as you're not rocking along that ankle too much, you're going to start to feel it in the arch of your foot. You'll also feel it in your leg. It is kind of a good exercise for your legs as well for balancing, but you should start to feel this in the arch of your foot. And of course, we're just going to switch over to the other side now. Same thing here, just a slight bend in that leg, the supporting leg. The other leg, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. You can point that foot. I kind of do like a half point. You really just want to focus on keeping that supporting foot as flat as possible on the ground. It's also, a good balancing exercise. If you guys followed my balance workout the other day, I think it was yesterday actually, I had this exercise in there as well. Alright, now pretty simple. We're just going to do some eleves in first position. So you're really pushing through the floor, getting those heels nice and high, making sure that your weight is distributed across your entire foot, straightening those knees, pushing into the highest releve that you can get. And 3 more seconds. We're going to switch it into a parallel position next. So same thing, but just in parallel. Notice I'm not bending my knees at all. You also here want to think about pulling up through your body. You don't want to only be using your calf muscles here. You should feel this a little bit in your hamstrings and in your glute muscles as well if you're really engaging your whole leg. And that way you don't put so much strain on your calf muscles. Alright, so now you're going to do basically a tendu and only point your toes off of the floor. So we're going to start on the left side. You're going to brush the foot out and just point the toes. You're pushing away from the floor, keeping that leg nice and straight. And so you're just using your feet, your toes specifically, to get your foot off of the floor. You're not lifting from your quad. So you should try and keep the rest of your body, that other leg and the extended leg, as still as possible, and really just the foot is coming off of the floor. And we're going to switch over to the other side now. So pushing off the floor, using those toes, keeping that leg as straight as possible. You know, a lot of these exercises, you don't need to do these too often to see results. I used to do this type of exercise once a week, like a little routine like this once a week, and I saw such a massive difference when I was consistent and just did that once a week every week for a couple of months. So it doesn't take too much time. All right, go ahead and take a seat on the floor. What you're going to do is spell the alphabet with your foot. We're going to start with the right foot. So you can do it in uppercase, lowercase, cursive, however you want, and you're probably not going to get through the entire alphabet in this first 30 seconds, and that's okay because we're going to repeat it again and you can finish your alphabet then. But so you're just starting with the right foot, and try as hard as you can to articulate through the foot and really use those toes. Imagine that they're like your paintbrush or your pen and you're having to draw with them. Alright, so we're going to switch over to the left side now. You can keep both feet out in front of you if you want, but I just choose to switch mine like this. So, spell and spell and spell. Or you can spell your name. You can spell whatever you want, to be honest. Alright, we're going to switch over to the right side now. This is one of those exercises that when you just sit and watch it, it looks super funny. Like, as I'm recording this voiceover, it's really funny to just watch my foot wiggling around in the air. Alright, 3 more seconds and we're going to switch to the other side. Alright, left side is up. Keep on really articulating those feet. I sound like a broken record, but this is something that I see a lot of dancers nowadays lacking, is being able to articulate their feet. Three seconds left. Alright, so now you're going to go ahead and grab that Theraband, and if you don't have it, just don't use the Theraband. But all you're doing is you're going to go through the arch of your foot and do a very slow point. So you're pushing through the ball of the foot, pointing the toes, bringing them back up, and then just repeating that. So we'll do right and left. If you don't have a Theraband, just do it without it, but really concentrate pointing your foot as hard as you can. Fun fact, this Theraband that I'm using is actually the first Theraband I ever got when I was getting ready to go on point. My studio gave us all these Therabands so that we could get our feet stronger for point shoes, and I still have this Theraband to this day. So now we're going to go ahead and switch over to the left side. Yeah, so the studio that I danced at, they required us to take a year-long pre-point class before graduating to point, and the entire class was like half footwork, so some of these exercises we would do, half of it was just other strength, so like upper body strength, back strength, and like I said, we only did it once a week, but it was super helpful. It's not something that I would have focused on my own, and it does really take a lot of practice, a lot of work to get your feet as strong as they need to be for point shoes. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again on the right foot. Repetition is key here. Five more seconds. And let's switch to the other side. Hopefully your feet haven't started cramping yet, but if they have, of course, you are more than welcome to take a little break. Pause the video, roll out your feet. It's helpful if you use a little tennis ball to roll out your feet, actually. Okay, so now we're gonna stand up, and you might wanna just watch this first. You're gonna put your Theraband down on the ground, and if you don't have a Theraband, you could use like a long hand towel, and all you're gonna do is use your toes to pull that Theraband in toward you. So you'll see that's a little hard to see with the text on the screen, but my little foot is there on the right and it's pulling the Theraband all the way into me. So go ahead and do that for 30 seconds. It kind of takes some getting used to. It's a fun little exercise, and try and get it all the way in if you can. And if you do, start all over again. And if not, that's okay. We're gonna switch to the right side in about 10 more seconds. Alright, so lay that Theraband or that towel back down. We're going to go to the other side now. I remember we used to do this exercise in my pre-point class, but we would have a partner, and the partner would stand on the other side of the Theraband, and they would also try and pull. And so you guys were like pulling against each other. We would also try and race each other. That was fun too. Alright, 3 more seconds and we're going to switch to the left side one more time. Go ahead and lay out that Theraband and start all over again. And after this, all we have is one more time on the right side, and you are all done with your foot workout for the day. Three more seconds. And switch to the other side. Last time. And of course, you're more than welcome to do this video more than once if you don't feel like it did enough for you, or just take the exercises that you liked and work on them on your own. I just think sometimes it's nice to have someone guiding you and telling you exactly what to do and what time. Keeps you like accountable and motivated, and I know a few of you had asked specifically for this video, so here I am putting my feet on display for you. 3 more seconds and you are all finished. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit the little notification bell. I will pop up on the screen a couple other videos you might be interested in watching, as well as yesterday's 25 days of technique video. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day.